Imagine this. You're floating in the middle of the ocean. No land, no boat, no people. Just endless water stretching in every direction. Then you look down and you see nothing. Not because there's nothing there, but because whatever is beneath you is so deep that sunlight can't reach it. And somewhere in that darkness, something might be looking back up at you. This is why so many people fear the ocean, even people who love beaches, swimming, and vacations by the sea. Because when the ocean becomes too vast to comprehend, it triggers something deep inside our minds. So why exactly is the ocean so terrifying? Because we don't know what's below us. Humans like certainty. We like seeing what's around us. If you're in a forest, you can see trees. If you're on a mountain, you can see the ground. But in the ocean, you look down and see an endless blue void. Our brains hate uncertainty, and whenever we don't know what's there, we start imagining things. Think about it. Most people can swim comfortably in a 3-meter deep swimming pool, but place that same person in water that's 3,000 meters deep, and suddenly, everything feels different. The water itself hasn't changed. What's changed is the knowledge that beneath you lies an unimaginable abyss, and your brain doesn't like that. The ocean is too big for our brains. The oceans cover about 71% of Earth's surface. That's more than 2/3 of our entire planet. And the deepest known point on Earth is the Mariana Trench. It's nearly 11 kilometers deep. To put that into perspective, if you dropped Mount Everest into the trench, the peak would still be underwater. That's how deep it is. But here's what's even stranger. We've mapped the surface of Mars in greater detail than parts of our own ocean floor. We have photographs of distant planets. We've sent spacecraft beyond our solar system. Yet much of the ocean remains unexplored.
The real darkness begins at 200 meters below the surface. Most people think deeper water simply means more water, but that's not really true. At around 200 meters below the surface, sunlight starts disappearing rapidly. Beyond that point, you're entering a realm known as the twilight zone, and eventually, total darkness. Not nighttime darkness, not the darkness of a room, true darkness, a place where sunlight never reaches. Humans evolved to rely heavily on vision. Our brains feel comfortable when we can see our surroundings. Take away that ability, and anxiety begins to creep in. Now imagine floating in that darkness, knowing that creatures are moving all around you, while you can't see any of them. Deep-sea creatures look like aliens. If you've ever seen photos of deep-sea animals, you've probably wondered, how is that thing real? Anglerfish, gulper eels, giant squids. Many have enormous eyes. Others have transparent bodies. Some produce their own light. And some look like they escaped from a science fiction horror movie. The reason is simple. Life in extreme darkness demands extreme adaptations. Over millions of years, evolution turned these animals into something that barely resembles the creatures we're familiar with. And when humans encounter something that looks too unfamiliar, our brains automatically label it as dangerous. On land, humans are surprisingly capable. We can run, climb, build tools, create shelters, and dominate almost every environment we enter. But the moment we enter the ocean, the rules change. Suddenly, we're slow, weak, and vulnerable. Fish swim faster than us. Marine mammals can stay underwater far longer than us. Many sea creatures navigate better than we ever could. In other words, if life were a video game, humans are overpowered on land. But underwater, we're playing with beginner stats. The strange sounds beneath the sea. Another reason the ocean feels terrifying is sound. Underwater, sound travels much farther than it does through air. Whales can communicate across hundreds of kilometers. Submarines can detect noises from incredible distances.
And sometimes, scientists hear things they can't immediately explain. One of the most famous examples was a mysterious sound detected in the Pacific Ocean called the bloop. When it was first recorded, it was so powerful that some people speculated it came from an unknown giant sea creature. Eventually, scientists found a more likely explanation involving ice movement, but for a while, nobody knew. And that's the scary part. The idea that something could make a sound so enormous and so strange that nobody immediately recognizes it.
Here's the truth. The most terrifying thing about the ocean isn't sharks. It's not giant squids, and it's not sea monsters. It's ignorance. Even today, scientists estimate that we've explored only a small fraction of the ocean in detail. There are likely thousands of undiscovered species, underwater mountains, hidden ecosystems, and natural phenomena we've never witnessed before. Think about that. We have satellites orbiting Earth, powerful telescopes observing distant galaxies, and advanced artificial intelligence helping us understand the world. Yet there are places on our own planet that remain largely unknown. Right now, as you're watching this video, there may be creatures swimming through the darkness of the deep ocean that no human has ever seen. And somehow, that's both fascinating and terrifying.
So why is the ocean so scary? Not because it's filled with monsters, but because it reminds us of something we often forget. We don't know everything. Beneath the waves lies another world, a world older than civilization itself, a world that remains largely unexplored. And perhaps the most frightening thing isn't what's hiding in the ocean. It's the fact that we still don't know what might be. So let me ask you, which would you choose? Walking alone through a dark forest at night, or floating alone in the middle of the ocean at night? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.